Me out to the Planning Commission tonight. We'd like to have a roll call
Chairman Cox,
here.
Vice Chairman Ferris,
Here.
Commissioner Hayman,
Here.
Commissioner Richter,
Here.
and then Commissioner Mondragon is absent. For present, we have a quorum.
Thank you. Would you rise for the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Oh, you were serious. Okay. I pledge
Pledge
allegiance
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Please be seated. Do I have an approval of the agenda? So move.
Second.
Chairman Cox,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Ferris,
Aye.
Commissioner Hayman,
Aye.
Commissioner Richter.
Aye.
4 ayes, motion carries.
Do you want to approve both or individually? I would probably do it individually.
Individually, because the first one, Megan was absent, and the second one,
I was.
you and Vanessa were. So the second one, I think we're going to have to put off. Yeah.
Okay. So do I have a motion to approve the minutes of 2/27/24?
I'll move.
Second.
Chairman Cox.
Aye.
Vice Chairman Ferris,
Aye.
Commissioner Hayman,
Aye.
Commissioner Richter.
Aye.
4 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you. We move on to non-agenda items. Persons wishing to address the Planning Commissions on matters that are within the Commission's jurisdiction and do not already appear on the agenda may do so at this time. Pursuant to the Brown Act, the Planning Commission may not take action on items that does not appear on the agenda. Speakers are limited to 5 minutes. The public comment section of the agenda is limited to a total of 1 hour. Each speaker is asked to provide his or her name. Do we have anybody wishing to address the Planning Commission on non-items? Anybody on the phone? Seeing none, we're going to move on. Planning Commission today, it's the 23rd. I would like to open the public hearing this evening at 6:02. This is a site plan review 24-01 RV and boat storage, a review of the site plan for the development of 3.22 acres of vacant land for storage units and recreational vehicles storage located at the 200 block of South Gordon Street, APN 47-020-23-00-9. Staff report.
So this property is vacant land. It's located on Gordon Street, and then on the north is West California Avenue. To the south is residential property, single family, and then Church Street. Part of the application, and in the conditions of approval, the applicant has asked for West California Avenue to be vacated. So in the conditions of approval is for them to go through the vacation process, and if it does not get approved for some reason, which staff will recommend that it is approved, but if it were not, then they would be responsible for the improvements on California Avenue. But at this time, California Avenue doesn't serve as an access on that portion anyway, so we're comfortable with vacating that. So this property is, the general plan is, designation is commercial, and then the zoning is commercial service. This is the site plan. So what the applicant is doing here is, this is a self-service storage for recreational vehicles and storage, boats, those kinds of things. There's not going to be an office, so I kind of want to make you guys aware of that, because you're not seeing an office and you're not seeing a lot of parking, because there isn't. People enter in with keypads at the gate and go in. So the circulation, there's the entrance on the southmost part of Gordon and the exit on the northernmost portion of Gordon. Now, the property does border that single-family residential, and according to the zoning code and the general plan, we do require a buffer. So they'll have a 10-foot setback from those residential properties, and then there is a requirement for a block wall on that side, just to buffer any noise or anything that would impact those residential neighbors there. So this is consistent with the general plan goals for infill development and then the buffering of the commercial, their outdoor lighting, the landscaping, and it meets our development standards. For zoning, it's in conformance with the zoning code. Again, for the setbacks, they do have full street improvements or half street improvements on the Gordon frontage. And they are doing all hardscape landscaping. This is phased. So the first phase, there's only 2 phases. And the phases aren't going to impact our conditions necessarily because they're just adding more structures as they continue with their project. This project does qualify for a Class 32 exemption for infill. It's less than 5 acres. It's substantially surrounded by development. The habitat doesn't have any value. And there's no significant effects. Since this is a public hearing, a public notice was sent out to everyone within 300 feet, and it was published in the newspaper. And as of this evening, I have received no comments from anybody. So staff's going to recommend approval and ask that you make a finding that the project is exempt from CEQA for the infill, and then recommend approval based on the conditions of approval that are attached to that resolution as Exhibit 3. Any questions? And the applicant is here, so if you guys have questions for them too.
Would you bring it back to the site plan? Mm-hmm. Right there, thank you. Mm-hmm. Commissioners, any comments before I turn it over to the community?
I have questions, but we can wait till.
Should we wait?
Yeah.
Developer, do you have any questions that you would like to share?
I'm a resident that's going to be backed up to that.
On the south side?
Yes.
Okay, do you have any concerns? You want to come up and talk to us? You need to come.
Confused.
Okay, why don't you come up and talk to us? We got the developer here so that you can have your questions answered too. Give us your name.
My name is Michael Campos, and I'm at 736 West Church. And the site plan that I got in the mail shows that being built on the other side of Gordon, not behind my house.
Pull it back one more, I think. No, forward. Okay, no.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
that
fine.
right there. It shows it being to the property to the west on what I got in the mail from the city.
So it's actually on the east, the development's on the east side of Gordon, and you live on the south side here, don't you?
Yes, but the information I got from the city about this meeting showed that the property was going to be built on the west side of Gordon, not on the east side.
Okay.
Okay, I don't have a big issue with that. But I did come here for another reason.
Can you give us a copy of what was mailed out?
Since I live on Church Street and I know what the traffic patterns are,
If you want to get me.
I would like to see if there's a way to put a 4-way stop sign at Gordon and Church Street to slow people down, because otherwise every time somebody pulls in there to go into your place, they're going to get hit by these people doing 45 and 50. It's a 25-mile-an-hour zone, but they completely ignore it. So in order to have egress and ingress to his property, I would ask that you put a 4-way stop sign at Gordon and Church to slow the people on Church Street down.
Okay, what we can do is we can take that to infrastructure. The city has to go through a process to put in a stop sign anywhere.
Yeah, I kind of figured that.
Okay, and there has to be a study and so on and so forth. But infrastructure is this Thursday at 5 o'clock, and it's in this building. Do you know where?
I can't make it for that.
Okay, well then, I'll carry it for you and ask them about that with this project. And see if that's something that can be considered and a study done on that for you.
Okay, and the only other question I got is, since it is going to be behind my house now, and I didn't realize that, how much outdoor lighting are they going to have?
So all outdoor lighting has to be downward facing and shielded, so it doesn't reflect onto neighboring properties, so.
Okay, that was my only question.
Thank you
you.
so much. How about one of the developers coming up and visiting with us? Who feels like public orator in the family? We're friendly, we don't bite. Yeah, come up here, please. We kind of insist on that. That's way if anybody's watching on TV, they can see your face and hear your voice.
Okay.
So go back to the other picture for me. One more, right there. Okay, so we're keypadding, and I seen a direction here of travel. I'm assuming that the gate will not open, the ingress will not open to exit?
Correct. It will
So
be
the
a one-way.
keypad is on the outside only?
Yes.
Okay. I was going to say, how are we controlling the flow here? All right. Then I also noticed that your Phase 2, the center building, is 70 feet wide. Are you parking on both sides, or are you just doing longer vehicles?
Longer
Oh,
vehicles.
okay. So whether long motor home or mine's 45 feet. So
Right.
okay. So that's why I was looking, we've got 35, we've got 45 in width. And so I was just questioning whether or not we're parking two, and I guess if the need could, you could do that, right?
Right. Good.
Okay. Commissioners, questions for the developer?
I don't have a question for the developer. You asked a question about lighting, and I, too, am a little sensitive to that, so I appreciate the question. Heather, spot on with the response. I was just curious, but now this is a little clearer, seeing where traffic goes in and seeing where they come out. I think that traffic pattern that you're concerned about the stop sign, may be alleviated a little bit by California being closer to the exit there.
No, because that means everybody's going to have to come in and out from Gordon and Church.
Well, they could exit out to Gordon and then go to California Street.
Nobody's still talking about the traffic's all going to come in
I
off
see
of
coming
Church.
in the same direction.
So 100% comes in,
Comes
even
in.
if 100% went out of
Sure. Okay.
California.
Yeah, I think that,
Nobody's going to go out California if they're going to close it down.
I don't,
California's a dirt road.
Yeah, we're going to vacate.
but it's still the road will still be there.
No, the
No,
road
it's-
won't be there because there isn't anywhere for it to go.
Yeah, so
It's only dedicated along their frontage.
I see.
And so
Okay.
there's nowhere,
Yeah.
there's no exit,
In that
there's
case,
no
I think that
connection.
your request for a stop sign is even more valid, that becomes a pretty big, could be a traffic nuisance. We'll have to do obviously a traffic study too.
Right.
I'm just going off anecdotal evidence from living there for
Sure.
15 years and seeing how people drive on Church.
Pretty good history, yeah, sure.
I agree. Okay, commissioners, any other questions on this development? All right. Anything you want to talk us into?
No, I don't.
Are you working well with the city?
I do.
They're not giving you a hassle?
No,
have
they're
another-
great. Heather's been
do have another
absolutely
question.
wonderful.
Okay.
Because that's a keypad entrance, is that going to be a 24-hour access?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And any security that you're putting up?
We will have cameras and whatever is necessary.
Now-
We're kind of waiting to,
And I understand currently there's no power there, right?
there is not, so we're
So
starting.
you're going to bring power for
Yeah.
light charging to keep the batteries up?
Yep.
All right. All right, anything from the public? Anybody called in? Okay. All right, then I would recommend that we approve, is it 2401 or Resolution 2411?
Resolution 2411.
Approved Resolution 2411 with the conditions as stated. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Chairman Cox,
Aye.
Vice Chairman Ferris,
Aye.
Commissioner Hayman,
Aye.
Commissioner Richter.
Aye.
Thank you.
4 ayes, motion carries.
Thank you.
See, we're not that scary, right? All right. At this time, I will close the public hearing at 6:15. Commissioner comments, committee reports. Anybody?
I will report on City Org met. We discussed the sanitation services in Ridgecrest and the corrective action plan that's underway right now. Also SB 1383, local assistance grants, and that has to do with the separation of refuse out of homes and businesses. So talked a lot of garbage.
Vanessa?
For quality of life, we went over shade structures for the Kerr-McGee Sports Complex. We got a pool update and splash pad update as well. And that's it.
Thank you. Megan?
For parks, we talked about grass a lot. There's going to be some big seating operations this year, but there's been a large amount of soccer teams that have popped up. And so they're kind of in a conundrum about, how do we balance having soccer teams use the park but not also damage some of this like fledgling lawn area. So mostly we talked about grass.
So I understand they're putting up some new shade structures out here on the ball fields.
Yeah, they were looking at, they were having a discussion about what kind of shade structures to have at the skate park too. So whether to put picnic tables there or shade or bleachers and so on and so forth.
So since Travis isn't here in infrastructure, thank you. If you've noticed, and I don't know if you have or haven't, if you go around all the street lights in town, do you notice the little camera things have gone away? Okay, so if you'll notice on two corners, they're a 3D IA. And so they monitor and they learn the traffic patterns. And so they're designed, if nobody's in a lane, that they'll not turn it green, and so on and so forth. And so it's learning. And so the first week, they had some challenges. They are going out and updating a couple of them because some of the parents have complained in the turn lane when they're dropping off kids at school. They're only getting 5 cars through. So they're trying to change that timing a little bit on the turn lane so parents can drop off at school. So that has changed as far as our infrastructure. So I just thought I'd make you aware. Anything else from the commissioners?
Do you guys have any update on the China Lake project with that sewer lateral or sewer main that's going in?
I don't.
No?
I don't. I know that the sewer on China Lake was supposed to be done, and it is. That portion is done. If you'll notice right now, they're putting in the curb and gutter, and then they're going to have to go back and pave. But they're doing some lateral work right now, too. You'll notice cross over to the charging station was done across China Lake. And so they're trying to tie up the loose ends so that they can finish that up. And
I just wondered if there was some sort of end date and
well, we were hoping by the end of this month. But at the rate they're going, because, well, one of the problems that they run into is they hit sugar sand.
I remember the
And it just took much longer, and they're digging and then refilling, and so it was a challenge from that standpoint, but
again, certainly not complaining because it's clearly something that had to be done. Just wondering if somebody had a end date that we could circle on the calendar and say, life is back to normal.
well, from infrastructure, that was scheduled to be done by the end of this month, so that they could be part of the paving period that they want to be, but
We
I
can
think
quote
we're
you
going to be a
on-
couple more weeks.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Anything from the public? No? Commissioners? No? Then we're going to close this meeting at 6:20.